Blue Beast Tales by the Paranoid P.I. Curse of the Necromongers. Retrieved archival audio log subject. My account of the true crime. It was near midnight as I walked by the wet market away from my Prime subscription girlfriend. Clouds from smokestacks always blocked the skyline at ground level below the hovercar highways. I passed down a dimly lit arcade when some pumped-up chrome punk leapt out and attacked me. The silver-lipped junkie swiped at me with a knife as I threw a mini war between us. A rocking motion smacked the thug's hand, and he dropped the knife in my direction. The crazed addict jumped towards me, then tried to choke me while he screamed, "She's mine!" I grabbed the knife and lunged it into his rib and heart. He fell limp on me, then bled out jerking. Even without cameras, I couldn't leave the body cause his last ocular data would have caught my face. With no other option, I dragged the body deep into the wet market. Bless the Necromongers. Not only would they dispose the body discreetly, but they'd pay me well for fresh parts. Genius. I dragged the body through a maze of closed storefronts till I stumbled upon the Necromonger den. "Sorry about the red lineup to your place," I said to the dark-robbed corpse-tician.
"We already have a crew cleaning the bloody trail to us. Thanks for your concern,"
they said dryly. "So how much for the body?"
"Parts are recoverable, your night might not be. Murder without a trace will cost you more."
"How much?"
100 billion credits.
"I don't have that," I said, turning out my digital pockets.
"Then, an eye for an eye. Before signing, would you like to read the fine print?"
The corpse-tician said. "Okay, I can swing one. I don't have an eye for detail. Stuff your fine print. Just make it go away." They took out an eye there, and then, no anesthesia or nothing, just plucked it out into a jelly tub. I was grateful to make it to my old apartment. So old they still have eye holes, not welcome screens. Getting back was easy. Navigating Cyclops was tricky. So I synced my headspace to the home cloud. I was home no more than 20 minutes mid-redressing my wound when the cops knocked at the door. Peeping through the front door eye hole, I could see two serious-looking agents grimacing back.
"We're looking for a suspect. You know the person in this photo?"
The agent said, gripping the print. "That dark, grainy photo has someone with two eyes. I had a recent operation, can't you tell?" I said.
"Oh, right, of course. Sorry to bother you. Hope you make a speedy recovery. Thanks for your time."
I waited for the cops to leave before I remember screaming in my mind, "Bless this cursed one eye." About half an hour later, I got another knock at the door. So, I quickly stuck my head to the peephole. As I matched the lens, that's when I felt a cold, sharp spike pierce the glass and into my good eye. I distinctly remember my last few images being of two dark-robbed goons outside my hallway. Was it the Chrome Punk's friends back for revenge? Or did the Necromongers have a secret clause? That's when I uploaded my last ocular save data to the web and left breadcrumbs back to them. I hacked the local feed. Now the whole world will know their geocache. Cursed the Necromongers. I'll never see my subscription girl again. But it's probably for the best. She attracted the best creeps.
Blue Beast Tales by the Paranoid P.I. Sticky tape. Name's Vince Stuckman. Friends think I'm stuck in the past cause I'm the last VCR repairman. Jokes on them cause they're now consuming old media. Only through dial-up, not taped down. I meant to close the shop early for some private repairs, but this customer insisted. They came in late at night, past 10, and needed a tape rewound. Only it couldn't be rewinded. Young girl, no older than my niece, she was shivering in summer and handed me the tape. She told me she saw a carnival full of kids playing and no adults before she tried rewinding. Said she caught the same fair carousel that travels through town biannually. The video was scratched with a name on its sleeve that said, Carnival. I put the tape in a standard video player, only it wouldn't rewind, only forwards through Carnival. I tried pressing the hoop manually for a hand crank rewind, only it clicked over and wouldn't budge. pulled out the degreaser can and sprayed wherever I could get the nozzle. Threw the tape back in, but all we got were rollover clicking sounds when we tried to rewind. Every time we tried again, we moved the carnival footage by a few frames more. That was till she suggested I turn the VCR upside down, on its head, and then we saw it. There was a clown hanging down an alley, holding a bloody styrofoam axe looking at the camera. An extended clown glove beckoned with a twisting hand gesture into the big top tent. The video frame followed the pinstripe axe man into the twisted hallways of the tent. Our camera stopped at a glass window before a table of macabre body parts laid out for dining. The young woman was coughing and choking at this point. I should have stopped the tape there. Tape footage wrapped through cloth halls of oddities, a fish tank of eyes, a bearded child. Then the film turned grainy. Approaching the tent exit sign, the tape went black and rewound itself. I distinctly remember saying, "Do you want to watch it from the start?"
What sicko would film this? I don't want any more.
She said. "How do you get the tape in the first place?"
Thrift shop. Worst 50 cents I've ever spent.
I turned the VCR over and pressed play on that darn tape. There was nothing but wall-to-wall snuff. Kids chopped into bloody, unrecognizable red piles by butchers' hooks and men with aprons and axes.
Stop the tape! Turn it off now!
She screamed. I had the big brain to have said, "I'm going to have to turn this into the authorities." "I'm sorry," she said.
Get Scotland Yard on the phone. I don't care. Just catch that clown.
"So you relinquished the tape to me?" She actually said.
On second thought, give it back.
So I ejected the tape and gave it back to her. No regrets. She stormed out and chuckled, like a clownish, over-rehearsed chortle. But I got the last laugh. "This is a VCR store, honey. We know how to record things." The backup monitor recorded everything, from end to start. And that's how I uploaded the tape to #SpicyVideos Weekly. Got to number 8 spot in the charts before it was pulled by the original uploader. Never knew who rebuked the copyright to the vid, but I bet they were a sick fuck too.
Blue Beast Tales by the PARAnnoyed P.I. Aroma. They say I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I can be blunt enough at times to compensate. That's what got me through the apocalypse, first market collapse, and then the deterioration of it all. I only managed to survive the first wave from surviving all the waves of inmates in the prison I sat in. There was enough food at first, plenty of crude weapons to keep others at bay, but then they came. The raiders pushed me out of my hell hovel and into a wasteland between Dust Bowl towns and zilch. It was 6 months in prison with cold showers most mornings before I missed it roaming the desert. About 2 weeks into my trek to the new world, I began to smell myself, like a creature following me. I faced sandcrawlers and peg walkers over the dunes. Their water reserves were quenching enough. There's never enough left over to clean myself, with all the grit, sand, and grime that accumulates. I chaffed through the lowered water table onto my next pit stop via an old oil refinery with water. By the time I got to the weathered crude factory, the buried water reserves had been depleted. Trekking further across the barren wastes, I neared some vegetation and was caught by a smell. I could tell I was getting close to my destination. It had a new world odor about it, something spicy. Following the scent into the overgrowth, I was pulled toward an abandoned airport behind the shrub. Crossing the tarmac, I got closer to giant hangars where I heard loud music pumping like jet engines. The enormous hangar door rolled open and an entourage of people covered in feathers approached.
You stink. How long's it been between baths?
You stink. But of nice things. Sorry, it's been a while since I've talked with anyone.
You can join our ragtag of wasteland survivors, but you must take a bath first.
Thanks. I'd love one.
Then we'll see you after the rain. Goodbye now.
They left me on the airport runway for over 3 weeks, while I waited for the next rain to come. I sustained myself off dragonfly patties and running my tongue up the concrete in the morning dew. It was hot and humid at the airport, but it was my only ticket to salvation in this god-forsaken world. In the dead of night, the clouds began to crack to life and eventually opened to finally clean me. I laid on the tarmac and made rain angels in the gridded concrete and heavy downpour from above. Walking back up to the hangar, I knocked as hard as I could until the clique of feathers arrived. You didn't have any water to bath me with?
Not enough for you, Petal.
So, will you let me in now? I've showered.
No, dear, you still stink. You reek of desperation. Can't have that in our midst. Try again elsewhere.
These are desperate times.
Not in here it isn't.
Why would I want to join you anyway? You seem like an elite clique of feathers already.
Regardless of your background, we can smell you from miles away. We don't take in bad smells.
Despite appearances, with the jail threads, I was wrongly accused. You do all the stinking for them.
Blue Beast Tales by the Paranoid P.I. Blufox and Grenwig. From atop a petrified stump an earwig calls out to a fox. The brilliant Blufox approaches cautiously and asks, "I'm Blufox. What's your name?"
I'm Grenwig the Green Earwig. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
What are you doing atop this splintered tower?
I'm here to bet you I can beat you to the Red Rocks town over yonder.
And what do I get if I win?
All the finest luxuries. Like the best waxed cheeses with waxed paper bread and butter.
Anything more to float a fox in heat?
How's the finest domesticated cats and cheesy maggots not fit for human consumption?
Done.
But wait, there's something important I must tell you. Come close.
The fox turns his head and leans in with his good ear to listen to Grenwig. As Grenwig starts whispering, a fantastic fuchsia fox emerges from the bushes and scampers into the woods. Blufox, stunned, boldly chases after her. He's soon lost amidst the foreign woods between here and Red Rocks. He narrowly chases laughter from behind a shrub and sees the fuchsia fox laying in a nest, panting and sweating. Blufox approaches with full nerves. One paw carefully after another he skulks around the branch wreath and lies next to her, and they start interweaving. His flaring upturned snout nudges hers. They rub each other's whiskers, mixing sweat of the day with interlocking ears. He gives a sigh and humps deeply into her neck. Shoulder on shoulder, head on head, till they fall asleep. Blufox is woken to a gunshot sound and a hunter stomping on their nest. The hunter throws the fuchsia fox over his ear and kicks at Blufox.
I'll sell her at market tomorrow. Your color's no good.
The hunter retreats to his truck. I never got to know your name, Blufox whines at the truck as it pulls away. Blufox continues up the path toward Red Rocks. He tracks human signs till nearing a small town by the coast. The blue fox, now muddy and bloody, limps his way into town. He tracks the rising sun to the market. At the market, Blufox sees Grenwig smirking at the fur dealers buy fuchsia fox's strung-up pelt. How'd you get here so quick? You wriggle in earth. You couldn't possibly be here before me?
Ah, but it was hearing how I got here in the first place. Your fuchsia bride had a death wish. Playing in those woods. That's why I got you to carry me as fast as possible. For as far as possible I needed. I listened to every ear that came by. I got inside their heads and that's how I beat you.
What was your prize if you won?
My only prize was escape. But to see what you lost, I've lost less yet feel I've lost more.
So, who wins?
You do, Blufox. To have and to have lost is better to have never had at all.
What were you trying to tell me before SHE came along?
I was trying to tell you there's no wig too small for this ear.
Blue Beast Tales by the Paranoid P.I. The ARK Project. The world had ended in a blaze of fire and steel, leaving behind only rubble and the echoes of screams. Amidst the devastation, a lone robot, designation ARK-117, walked the barren earth. Its once sleek metal body was now weathered to a dull rust, its joints creaking with each step. ARK 117's advanced sensors scanned the desolate landscape, searching for any sign of life. But there was nothing. No heat signatures, no radio signals, no whispers of humanity's existence. The robot's processors struggled to comprehend the magnitude of the destruction. As it walked, ARK 117 encountered the remnants of civilization, shattered skyscrapers, overturned cars, and the skeletal remains of buildings that once pierced the sky. The robot's advanced vision picked out the details of each ruin, cataloging the extent of the devastation. In the distance, ARK 117 saw a figure, or what was left of one. A human skeleton, clad in tattered military fatigues, lay slumped against a crumbling wall. The robot approached cautiously, its sensors on high alert. A small, leather-bound book lay beside the skeleton. ARK 117 carefully picked it up, its mechanical fingers tracing the embossed cover. The pages, yellowed and worn, revealed handwritten notes in a language the robot couldn't understand. For a moment, ARK 117 simply held the book, feeling the weight of the world's loss. It had been programmed to assist and protect humanity, but that purpose was now gone. The robot's processors whirred, searching for a new directive. As the sun set on the ravaged world, casting long shadows across the ruins, ARK 117 made a decision. It would continue to walk, to explore, and to catalog the remnants of civilization. Perhaps, someday, it would find others like itself, or even a way to revive the world that once was. With the book safely stored in its internal compartment, ARK 117 resumed its journey, its footsteps echoing through the stillness. The robot's advanced sensors scanned the horizon, searching for a glimmer of hope in a world gone dark. As night fell, ARK 117 walked on, a lone sentinel in a desolate landscape, driven by a newfound purpose, to remember, to preserve, and to await the day when the Earth might rise anew from the ashes of the old.
Blue Beast Tales by the PARAnnoyed P.I. Dark Doors. Gregor, the ancient vampire, dwelled within the crumbling castle walls on a forsaken island. He shunned the world of humans, content to feed on the island's creatures, rabbits, seagulls, and the occasional shipwrecked sailor. The isolation suited him, allowing him to maintain a fragile grip on his sanity. One fateful evening, while exploring the musty castle corridors, Gregor stumbled upon a hidden compartment within a tattered tapestry. A rusty key, adorned with strange symbols, lay nestled within. The vampire's curiosity was piqued as he turned the key over in his pale hand. Intrigued, Gregor searched the castle for a door that matched the key. He discovered it hidden behind a bookshelf in the dusty library, camouflaged to blend seamlessly into the stone wall. The key slid into the lock, and the door creaked open, revealing a dark, swirling portal. Gregor's heart, long dormant, stirred with excitement. He stepped through the portal, and the door slammed shut behind him. A blood-red sky stretched above, casting an eerie glow over the twisted landscape. The air reeked of death and decay. As he explored this forsaken world, Gregor encountered unspeakable horrors, lakes of boiling blood, forests of twisted, flesh-like trees, and mountains of skulls that seemed to stretch on forever. The vampire's hunger, long suppressed, roared to life. He feasted on the blood-soaked soil, drinking in the gore like a parched man at an oasis. The taste was intoxicating, and Gregor's powers grew with each swallow. He reveled in the darkness, embracing the monster he had long denied. In this twisted realm, Gregor discovered a temple dedicated to the ancient gods of blood and darkness. The walls ran red with the sacrifices of countless innocents, and the altar seemed to pulsate with an otherworldly energy. A voice, like the rustling of dry leaves, whispered in Gregor's mind.
You have been chosen, vampire, to inherit this realm of blood and shadow. Claim your birthright and unleash your true nature upon the world.
Gregor's eyes blazed with an unholy hunger as he accepted the dark gift. The portal behind him began to glow, beckoning him to return to his island castle. The vampire knew that he would never be the same, for he had discovered a new world of horrors and a new purpose, to bring darkness to the world of humans. With a wicked smile, Gregor stepped back through the portal, the key still clutched in his hand. The door creaked shut, and the castle's secrets were once again hidden. But the vampire's eyes gleamed with an otherworldly light, and his heart beat with an eternal hunger, as he whispered to himself, "The night is mine."
Blue Beast Tales by the Paranoid P.I. The Wrong Apartment. The Ravenswood Apartments stood like a monolith, its Art Deco facade masking the horrors within. Tenants came and went, but none stayed long. They whispered tales of strange occurrences, unexplained noises, and an unshakable sense of dread. Emily, a young professional, moved into 3B, hoping to find solace in the apartment's vintage charm. At first, all was quiet. But soon, strange things began to happen. Her kitchen radio turned on by itself, blaring static and eerie whispers. Doors creaked open and shut, as if an invisible hand guided her through the apartment. In 2A, Tim, a struggling artist, found his canvases splattered with strange symbols, as if painted by an unseen force. His brushes moved on their own, crafting twisted masterpieces that seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy. On the top floor, Mrs. Jenkins, an elderly widow, received mysterious phone calls. The voice on the other end whispered her late husband's name over and over until she screamed. The building's superintendent, Mr. Lee, seemed unfazed by the bizarre occurrences. "Just the old building settling," he'd say, his eyes glinting with a knowing spark. One night, Emily discovered a hidden room behind her closet. Inside, she found a series of cryptic messages scrawled on the walls. "They will never leave. The Ravenswood Devourers. Welcome home." As she fled, the messages seemed to shift, rearranging themselves into a haunting phrase, "You will never escape." Tenants began to vanish, leaving behind only whispers of their existence. The apartment block seemed to shift and writhe, its corridors twisting into impossible geometries. One stormy evening, Emily stumbled upon Tim's studio, now transformed into a twisted shrine. His paintings had merged into a single, grotesque masterpiece, the Ravenswood Apartments, devouring its own tenants. As she gazed upon the horror, the building's lights flickered and died. The darkness coalesced into a presence, whispering a chilling phrase in Emily's ear.
"You're next."
She fled, joining the ranks of the vanished. The Ravenswood Apartments remained, standing sentinel over its secrets, waiting for the next unsuspecting tenant to stumble into its clutches. The building's facade seemed to shift, its Art Deco design morphing into a twisted, Gothic grin. Mr. Lee's knowing smile echoed through the empty halls, as the Ravenswood continued its eternal cycle of terror. In the darkness, the whispers began anew.
"Welcome home. They will never leave. The Ravenswood Devourers."
Oh.